everyone. This is our next session of the Faster EFT fireside chats with Ilana and Susan. And today we're going to discuss the differences between EFT and Faster EFT. And just that you all know, we don't plan this ahead. We do it at the spur of the moment. So whatever comes out of our mouths, that's what comes out. Okay.
On the fly. That's right.
Want to start?
Okay, sure. Ilana, when you first got into this healing modality, did you try EFT at first?
I actually did. I didn't try it with a practitioner. I basically tried it following various people online with YouTube. Yeah. And I even want to become a practitioner in EFT. And there's one person who trains for EFT in Israel. He's called the EFT Rabbi. He lives in Svat. And at the time that I'd want to do it, he said to me, I have to get together at least 5-6 people. It's going to cost such and such amount of money, which was a fairly large sum of money. It'll be a 5-day training, and then you'll be certified. But he was busy training all the police force, the teachers, and everyone in Svat EFT because they want to use it for emergency situations, since there's a lot of, unfortunately, emergency situations here in Israel. And so he never found the time to come. And I was getting impatient, and I was looking again on the internet, and then I stumbled onto Faster EFT.
What year was that? Do you remember?
It was around 4 years ago, so it must have been in the year 2010.
Okay.
Now, what I can say from my experience is, the one thing I hated about EFT is that you had these long scripts that you had to follow. And you can order script books, and you can order, but then when you're trying to tap on a specific topic, okay, now I have to go look up, which script do I use? Do I use this script? Do I use that script? Oh, wait, I left something out of the script. Does it matter if I left it out? Does it not matter if I left it out? Because I wasn't trained in EFT. I didn't know. I just was following along with other people. And it was very nerve-wracking. And I will say that I got some results. I won't say I didn't get results, because you do get results from EFT, especially if you work with a trained practitioner. But doing it on my own, I found it to be extremely complicated.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I discovered it with, I believe it was David Childerley first, and then Magnus tapping. So I would follow those videos, and I think most people came along Robert in a similar way, but I don't know. Maybe
accidentally. I think it might have been one of the reasons why he called it Faster EFT, so that people would stumble on it.
7 years, thank God. Which is what? Let's see. It's Faster EFT. It's Faster NLP. It's Faster ESFF. No, just kidding. I didn't mean to offend anybody.
No, well, I don't think it's Faster any of those. I think the point of it here is that you have a synergism. You're using all of them together. You're not using any one thing by itself. And when you work things together, it synergistically works faster, and it's more powerful.
And it's there's just harmony there. With EFT, you have the suds, and it's much different. I don't think I could have got. I know I couldn't have got my my physical pain to a zero using EFT. It did get my mind to a better place. It did that, but the whole clockwise, counterclockwise, hard down left, hard down right, that sort of thing kind of hurts after a while, and you're doing all sorts of stuff. So it more along the lines, and this is just me. This is just my perception, is that EFT, yes, acupressure, but also it seems to be more like meditation, because you're focusing on something and not the problem. When you're doing but that's like EMDR.
Let's first of all describe what the major difference is between EFT and Faster EFT is, right? EFT basically claims that there's some sort of energy that's flowing through you, and there's an obstruction. And then you take something like a screwdriver when you tap, and you open up that obstruction to let the energy continue flowing through. In Faster EFT, there's no energy.
Your problems are a creation.
Your problems are programs that are running inside your subconscious mind, and you are doing them perfectly well. There's nothing broken about you.
Not right or wrong. Exactly.
You're extremely successful at doing it.
That's right.
Okay, so you can even feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Problems and all. Okay, second difference is EFT.
Believes EFT believes in psychological reversal.
Right? Faster EFT, there is no psychological reversal. Okay, EFT is sort of like you're cutting down the branches of a tree, and you're cutting down the branches of a tree, and you're cutting down the branches of the tree until slowly but surely you get down to the root. Faster EFT, you just go straight for the root and pull it out. Everything all together.
With EFT also, you have far more tapping points. That makes for a lot of tapping and a lot of rounds.
Right.
Different things in the script. And with Faster EFT, we use what works. And occasionally I have added a couple in if I have somebody, with me, and something's getting a little bit hard to budge or they're down in it, I'll use the crown. And with EFT, you've got so many more, you're doing this and karate, well, all that. Right. Well, with Faster EFT, we use the eyebrow point, side of the eye, under the eye, collarbone, and then we anchor here at P. So those are the only points that Faster EFT uses.
Right.
Okay.
Also, with Faster EFT, you don't have all those long scripts, like I said at the beginning. Well, you don't even have to say anything. It's the truth of the matter. And sometimes I get my best results when we do silent tapping.
Right.
Okay, but the major idea in Faster EFT is simply to do something that's going to break your trance.
Right. And because your subconscious already knows. It has all the resources.
Right. With EFT, what I found is you'd be going over the problem. Even though I have this problem, I still love myself. Even though I have this problem, I still accept myself. Even though I have this problem, and you keep going back to the problem.
And there's a search for the words to say. With Faster EFT, there is no search. We do the intake. We've got our clients' words, and we use those, and it's pretty powerful.
Well, with Faster EFT, you just give back the words that the client uses, because that's where the client holds it inside of himself.
Exactly.
So there's no long scripts. There's no long, nothing that you have to memorize. There's nothing you have to look up in books. Right. And even if you just say, let it go, let it go, let it go, you'll still get results. You don't have to use any words. Mm-hmm. And as I said, I do the silent tap often, and that gives the best results.
Yeah, Faster EFT is therefore easier to learn, easier to do, and it's not as complicated as the process of EFT. Not saying that EFT is not a good modality, because it is.
It depends. I really think that different people have an affinity for different modalities, and you have to find for yourself what modality is best for you. It's not that one works and one doesn't. I think that most of them work.
Sure.
It just is a question of what resonates with you, how it makes you feel.
Yeah. Well, with EFT also, it works. It takes a lot longer to produce results that you want, and Faster EFT is just that, faster.
Right.
Because we can, you find
because of the synergism that we're using.
Yeah, and you find the programs, you find the patterns, you find threads throughout
your life.
Yeah. Let's see. EFT uses the sore spot, which is right here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't use that. I'm not exactly sure why.
I think they also use the spot that's underneath your breast, which is not quite as comfortable a spot to use, or the one that's underneath your arm, which is also not quite as comfortable to use.
That's my sweet spot.
Especially not in public.
Well, that's my sweet spot. It's right, where the bra ends. It's right under there. It's right there. It's a little harder to get to these days.
But the point is that if you're doing it in public, it's not quite as comfortable to do in general.
Right. Yeah. This is much easier. You can even use the Tom Tar. If you care.
Right. You can even just do it in your mind. You don't have to even really tap.
Yeah.
Okay, so with EFT, the main thing is the tapping. With
We
faster
have
with faster EFT, you have so many different tools that you can use. Tapping is not necessary.
Yeah. EFT has a basic, just the one way of doing it, whereas faster EFT, we have many ways to get to the problem.
We have many tools in our toolbox to get to the problem
Yeah.
and to get rid of the problem.
And before we go any further, a large difference in EFT and faster EFT is that faster EFT uses, thought field therapy, TFT, neuro linguistic programming, NLP, BSEP fast or BSFF. We use hypnosis, and we also use matrix reimprinting. Yeah. So
we go in, we use any tool that we think works best, and if I see that one tool is not working well, I'll switch right over to another tool. That one's not working well, I'll switch over to another tool. Between all the tools in my toolbox, I 99% of the time find one that's going to get it down.
Right.
So having all those tools in the toolbox makes a big difference in how
right.
fast.
And
the truth is that, let's say I was working with faster EFT and I was tapping with someone and it was going down very slowly. I could continue doing the regular tapping and it would go away. But I might switch to an NLP technique and it'll go away that much faster.
Right.
And I might switch to matrix reimprinting and it'll go that much faster. And then I'll switch back to the regular faster EFT and then I'll test it. I'll go back to faster EFT and I switch in between them. So you really get the best of all worlds.
Yeah, you do. You do. We don't have a set up phrase. We just go right. We aim. We aim at the problem. And, using NLP and aiming at, you just know. What does Robert say? Strike while the iron's hot.
Right.
And so that's what we do. Let's see, what else? EFT is based on, EFT taps until they reach 0. Well, faster EFT goes in and
changes it to something good.
Right. We want to tap until it's a positive, until the memory is a positive.
Right. Because as long as you can still see the bad memory, you have something to go back to. You still have the resource. Right. Once you switched it, once you flipped it into a good memory, you no longer have that bad resource to go in.
Right. We have the quick tap technique, whereas they just have the basic points to do. Also, let's see. EFT also believes there's a saboteur within. We don't believe that. We believe that.
We believe that we're running the program very successfully.
You can believe what you want, but these are programs, and so it's a learned process.
We also believe that everything has a gift to it, and everything comes to teach us something.
Right.
It's not coming to sabotage us. It's coming to teach us a lesson. And if we don't learn it, it'll come back stronger.
That's
when
right.
we do learn it, it leaves.
And a different hat shows up. Okay. So in EFT, the practitioner is an investigator, and they try to make educated guesses. In faster EFT, we allow the client to do all the work. In fact, that works well for me. I don't know. I can't say that I've been an investigator in EFT or tried that. I'm like, okay, even though I have this problem, blah, blah, blah. The client does the work. And when you have an intake form and you have all of their words, what they want to get out of the session, the problem, issue, pain, symptom, whatever, all their proofs and memories, their beliefs, and find the structure. You just take all that, and then the client is, you put the cook in the kitchen through the session.
Right.
And allow them to, and it's just they're rewriting a story. It's just
Right.
Okay.
Which is another process, by the way.
That
you added, rewriting your story.
EFT uses just mainly tapping with a script or just the actual act. And Faster EFT teaches skills for interchanges. This works because when you go back and, okay, what are the reasons I feel abandoned? What are the reasons I feel afraid? And you can list those, and you can list every single memory of, you can tap on all of those and change the meaning. For instance, I had a phobia of snakes. And I no longer have that. I could walk into a pet store now and put a huge, 6 foot long, whatever. Yeah. But I don't know how I did tap on that, and I don't know how that happened. Sometimes I tap on something and something else goes, and that was one of the things. And this was just a creature, and it was okay. I felt completely safe. My heart I wasn't freaking out, nothing. But I was able to hold a snake.
Well, the thing that happens with Faster EFT is that when you get the root, that root sometimes supports other things as well. So if you cut down this root, you're cutting down some other stuff as well, not just that root.
Right.
Okay. When you're just cutting at the branches, you don't do that. Right.
And in fact, EFT, as far as those branches go, EFT is so powerful. It just it takes the roots right out and everything.
Faster EFT.
That's right. Faster EFT is very powerful. Okay, in EFT, you hope your client feels better. You hope that the problem is cleared. And in Faster EFT, we make sure of it because we test,
we check,
operate, test, exit, and we just keep going in and out of that memory, and really anchoring in the good feelings.
Right.
So, in EFT, there is a personal piece list. In Faster EFT, we have a piece list, but we also have a happy journal, which I can't even stress how important that is to have, the happy journal, because you're having a bad day, something happens, and you just can't even retrieve a good memory. You're just in it, and you're tapping. If you open your happy journal and you read your gems, read your whatever you put in there, bam, takes you right out of that trance. Of course, there are other things that can do that. You turn on some comedy, you turn on, listen to some music or something. It'll get you out of the trance, but the happy journal to me is just absolutely imperative.
But something, you can combine it, make an electronic happy journal.
Oh, sure.
And then within that happy journal, you can put videos that are funny to you. You can put pictures, you can put memories, you can put gems, you can put quotations, you can put articles. And that way you have a combination of everything as part of your happy journal.
In EFT, EFT keeps the big issues further away. I guess creating distance. Actually not, I don't think it means that. I mean, it means the bigger issues are further away. We want to we want the worst first. So the big stuff.
Yeah.
And have the client go in and notice how deep and how strong that feeling is. There's a color there. There's the sensations in the body, and really, really amp that up. We want the worst first, and we want to really make it, which is easy after you have their words to do that.
Well, they tell you exactly how to do it. That's the point. Right? The client tells you exactly how to do it, and sometimes I'll ask them, and I'll say, "So, what do I need to do to make this worse?"
Right.
What needs to happen for it to become worse?
Yeah, I think it's one of the if this were to get any worse, how much worse could it get?
And it's not just how much worse can it get, but what do I need to do to make it worse for you? So that I can then go in and provoke you and make you feel as bad as you can and take it away so you can't feel it anymore.
Right. Like that client I had who suffered rejection issues. Well, I go in and I say, it's just going to happen to, and we do this a lot, almost all of us that I know of does this, go in and say, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen tomorrow. They're going to reject you.
It's not just that. I had a client once who had a sibling who always did things before her, always went in and like did everything that, everything that she did, she had to do better. She had to, and it was a real problem for her. And so when we finished the session, I looked at her and I said, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but your sister had a session with me right before you did.
Yeah. And she's coming over to my house.
And like she looked at me and she said, oh, good for her. Like then I knew that it was God.
That's awesome. Yeah. We want to test. Make it come back.
Exactly.
With EFT, there's no structure. Intention or intuition doesn't play a part in this. EFT intuition it encourages the development of intuition, whereas Faster EFT doesn't. Intuition has nothing to do with it. I may say I'm intuitive, but I don't want to take that into a session because I'm not right. I'm not right.
It doesn't have to do with me. It has to do with the client.
Exactly. It's not my problem. I can't judge. And that is a judgment.
Basically, in Faster EFT, it's all about listening to what the client says and giving it right back to the client. Using their words, using their pictures, their images, because it's not about my images, it's about them.
That's right.
Now, it might sound over here like we're putting down EFT. We're really not putting down EFT.
No.
For me and for Susan, Faster EFT is what resonated. Faster EFT is what did it for us. If EFT works for you, then that's great. Use it. We're not telling you not to. And if any other modality works for you, use it. We're not telling you not to. But what I would suggest is try using a few of the modalities together. Because in Faster EFT, we've already done that. We've put together a whole bunch of modalities.
Right.
And the reason being is that when you use things together, it just gives you a synergistic effect. It makes it go much faster, much quicker.
It is great. I love EFT, and I know a lot of people who benefit from it, and that's great. So no, we're not saying that there's anything wrong with whatever methods are chosen, but we do encourage you, if you haven't, to try Faster EFT. Right. The experience for me was, of course, nothing I could duplicate, or in the rest of my years, I couldn't. I don't think that could possibly be topped. It was that. Right. It's mind blowing. Robert is very good at what he does and very kind man, and so.
Yes. So till next time, have a great time and happy tapping.
Happy tapping. Peace out.